What's going on, guys? Welcome back to our Let's Play series on Amplified Console Edition. Very long title, I'm going to have to shorten that. Now, I wanted to give you a quick update on what's going on with the double slime chunk. If I actually take you higher up than down there, can't really see that I've done anything from down there. Now, I'm instantly regretting taking on this project because it's chewing up a lot more time than I ever thought it would do. But now that I've started it, it's something I'm going to have to carry on doing, mainly in between episodes, because you don't really want to watch me just digging this out layer by layer for hours. Now, as you can see already, I've taken up the ceiling a bit. That top layer there is directly below the ocean, and I had major issues changing all the blocks in the ceiling. So I took out all the granite and diorite and all the dirt and gravel, replaced it with just a smooth stone. I've left the ores and such in the actual wall, and I've left the andesite up there, but I didn't want patches of orange and white everywhere. As you can see, I've taken down the ceiling gradually, going down towards the sides. My plan is with this is to take it down 4 blocks each time and then mess around with the walls, push them out a little bit each time. So by the time we actually reach the bottom, which is going to be a very long way off, it should be extremely big compared to what it is right now. So I was thinking that we could actually have multiple floating islands, not just ones within the actual slime chunk itself. So obviously the ones within the slime chunk will be there as spawning pads for the slimes, but we can have multiple ones and have them larger because the area is going to end up being massive if I keep on going out on the gradient that it is going at the moment. You've got about 40 blocks below. I'm pushing it out at least 1 block every 2 down. So at least around about 20 to 30 wider on every side by the time it reaches the ground. So that should be absolutely massive, and it's going to chew through my pickaxes like nothing. But that's definitely going to be something to do in between episodes because there's no way I'm going to be getting that done anytime soon. What else? I've already got a project planned for what I actually want to do today, and that is work on a way of getting some dyes up and running. So just like a little flower farm. Now with the stained glass and the clay blocks and the wall blocks, and then also in the PC version they've just introduced the concrete blocks and the terracotta blocks and the, I think it's concrete dust, which is like different coloured sands which you use to obviously make the concrete. So there's a lot of blocks that uses a lot of dyes, so I thought might as well get ahead on it. Not to mention we've also got the fireworks and the banners that also use dyes, so I think getting somewhere to make quick and easy dyes up and running should be handy. Now I've already cleared a little section over here. This is still part of the flower forest biome. So when you use bone meal on it, it does produce the majority of the flower colours, which will be extremely handy. And I already dug this out. I did this all before I started recording this episode because I wanted the bottom area to actually turn to grass before starting recording. Otherwise it would just be sit here waiting for it to turn, or I'd have to do a cut in between. But with this already done, now I can just get started on it. I've hopefully got everything that I need to be able to do this. I've already done a quick mock-up of it in my redstone test world. So if we put that there. Now this runs off a simple hopper clock, which I'm fairly sure most of you must have seen made by now. One there, one there. Now with this I'm going to be running off 2 separate actions for each click of the clock. Yep, if that makes sense. Each time the redstone block goes from left to right, it will be doing a different action. Now, is that right? Yeah, that should be right. Block there, block there. Need some comparators. There, there. Bit of redstone dust. And then we just need a redstone block. There. And then just a few items. What can we throw in? Now, I did mess around with the timing a lot in my redstone world, just to see which one worked better for the actual farm I'm making. Now, it's a 5x5 area. The bone meal will be dispensed from underneath the ground, directly below the center block. Now, the bone meal can actually work on an 11x11 area if dispensed from the center block, but it gets much less effective the further out you go from where it is being bone milled. So usually by the end of the line, if you're doing 11x11, you only get a small patch of the grass. So this is a very small concentrated area for the bone meal to be used. And put some bone meal in there just to get it ready. Hopefully the grass will spread to this before this is all finished, so then we can actually try it out. Now we want a chest somewhere easily accessible. Then we want a collection area. Let's just run these like that. Now, I did initially design a flower farm. Oh my god, that is going to drive me insane. Let me just switch that off for a second. Could you stop? Stay. Stay. There we go. Now, initially I did design it as a piston floor, like shifting side to side to pull the flowers up, but then the collection system of it got extremely more complicated because I had a hopper minecart underneath. That was actually on the wrong side. I had a hopper minecart underneath doing the collection, and the amount of redstone conflicting with each other with the powered rails, and then you also had the dispenser underneath that needed to be wired up, so that was running through the powered rails, and then the hoppers was getting locked up each time the powered rail got activated. It ended up being a lot bigger than the simple systems that I've designed here. So this should hopefully work without any problem, because it worked perfectly fine in my redstone world. But it's usually the way it is. As soon as you try to build it properly on camera, it all goes wrong. But yeah, this is just to make a 1-tick pulse to activate. I'm using the 1-tick pulse to activate and deactivate the same dispenser, and I will show you how I'm doing that. That one's going to be deactivating it, and get some blocks. Oh, this is extremely close to where I wanted it. This was a lot further back in my redstone world, so let me just do a little bit of playing around. Now, I take that and that. Okay, so get everything to hand. Oh, doesn't help that there's barely any room to move around in here. Do that. Gonna have this coming off here, and then put another block there. Redstone repeater, and then these ones will be on a 3-tick delay. Now that will deactivate the dispenser, while I want a direct route going to it to activate it. But I'm not sure if... Actually, let me keep that on my hotbar. I'm not going to need them anymore. If we... Can you activate the dispenser from directly underneath with redstone dust? Do that. And then we use that there. I'm going to have to see if it works or not. No, see, that only went off once. But if you power that, let me see. Yeah, that went off twice, but I'm gonna have to extend this one by one more, so I need another repeater in here. This should be fine. Put another one there. So there. Yep, that should be perfectly fine. And grab that bit of redstone back. Okay, so if that's got water in, that will spread it from there over to there without any issues. And my god, as soon as it is daytime, I literally only just slept the night away less than about 2-3 minutes ago, and already it's like this. I'm guaranteed to have a creeper. I'm in somewhere. Let me just have a quick look around. Just light it up a little bit. Last thing I need is a creeper to blow everything up. There we go. Okay, so that's that dispenser activating and deactivating of the one tick pulse. There we go. And then we want the other one, say, into a block there. Into here, so I'm going to take off the separate signal. And then we want this to run underneath to the dispenser. With the bone mill. Awesome. Now, let's turn that off for a sec. Now that is pretty much all the redstone for this contraption done. I will actually run hoppers to this to automatically top it up with bone meal for when it runs out, but that's an off-camera job. It's easy enough to do. But as you can see, the simplest redstone you possibly use is very compact, very small, and extremely efficient. Now I will show you it all up and running in 2 seconds. Let me just patch this little area up, stop any mobs from spawning. Okay, let's get rid of that. So gonna get blown up. You seem to be alright for mobs. Okay. So do this. Actually, let me put the water in. Collection. I've got to be extremely quick, because if that water comes out, it's just gonna trash everything down here. Get that. Get that. Get some more blocks. And go. Okay. Oh, and an enderman just came down here by the sounds of it. Bad timing for him. Okay. As you can see, a number of different flowers. The activation and disactivation of the water will eventually push everything that gets broken into that hopper. And it's just enough time for the bone meal to still work because the water's not on the ground. Yep, that's all working fine. Patch that up. I actually want to put some redstone lamps in here, so it's always bright, but I'll do that off camera at another point. I have got some glass just to patch up above it. And I'm using the white stained glass because I don't like the streaks that you get in the normal clear glass, and when you stain it white, it takes that away and it makes it a lot clearer. The way I find it anyway. I prefer the white stained glass. Well, we are going to have to find a way of turning this thing off and on a lot easier. So I'm going to have to rewire that lever. Lever. turn that off for the time being. But yeah, as you can see, very simple, efficient, compact automatic flower farm. Now that should deal us with the majority of the dyes that we need. I think the ones that it does not give us is the cactus green, the normal blue for the lapis, cyan blue, which I think you need the light blue for. But yeah, red tulips is your... I did test the bone meal. Eventually you do get the magenta, the purple ones, and I'll set up some automatic bone meal dispensers for the bigger flowers, because they're very easy to replicate and you don't really need to see how that's done. I will show you after I've built it and give you the brief rundown on it. But yeah, that mini project's pretty much done and dusted. Now there's a couple of other things I wanted to give a brief rundown on, and the first thing is the double mob spawner. Yes, let me just get over to there. Oh, didn't want to go through there. Wrong way. Now, the thing that I've been finding with this is that after it's been running... Oh yeah, that's a hole that I dug down to the double slime chunk. After this has been running for around about 5-10 minutes, you have about 14 to 15 skeletons build up here, and then the skeletons just stop spawning. Now, I believe that's because this spawner it's exactly 9 blocks away from where they land here, which I think is within the range that it can be to prevent more mobs from spawning, because they count how many mobs are in the area of a 9x9 around them. Now, I'm not 100% sure if that's the reason, or if it's just an extremely low mob cap for it. But I've noticed after about 12 or 13 skeletons build up, the skeletons no longer spawn, but the spiders do. So what I am going to be doing is tearing this bit down, bringing the skellies further across and down here. And then not only does that help take it out of range of the actual spawner... Oh, the spider's dying underneath there. Does it not help to take that away from the spawner, so then it doesn't include in the mob count when it checks to spawn more. But then I can also patch over this cobblestone wall, which I absolutely hate. It's been driving me insane each time I come down here. I've added a couple of torches here because mobs were spawning on these. Now what I will do is just replace these for standard half slabs, so then I don't have to have torches here. So it does affect the skeleton spawns ever so slightly. And I'll replace underneath there for blue wall. Now what I have in mind is to replace this with quartz, the nether quartz half slabs, and the nether quartz steps for like little details on the walls and so on. But as you know, it's extremely expensive. You don't get much for the nether quartz, and you can blow through it extremely quickly, especially with the amount of floor that needs to be covered here. So it's going to be a very big nether run that I'm going to have to do. And for that, I'm going to have to craft up some fire resistance potions. And I've got all of that stuff ready in a little hideaway hole where I first started out after our first nether run. And yeah, so beginning of next episode we'll do a bit of a nether exploration one, get some nether quartz, replace this, but at the beginning of it we'll probably do a very quick and simple brewing stand, which I'm probably going to put in back here, just so I have something to do while waiting for the mobs to build up. But yeah, hopefully that all goes to plan without any hiccups. And yeah, I think that is probably going to do it for today. I did spend a long time clearing the area for the very quick and very simple automatic flower farm. And so I've been on it for a lot longer than it would seem yet again. And clearing out the slime chunk, I've spent around about 15 hours into that already, just replacing blocks. And it's quite annoying when you have to tear down a load of blocks just to replace it with a slightly different coloured block. But hopefully the end result will show that all that time isn't completely wasted. But for today, I think that's going to be it. So I will see you all next time. Hope you have fun. Bye.